Hello, it's Lesley Fightmaster, and we're going to do a short video on ways to stretch the upper back from Michael Kampf. So bring your hands together, take a moment to set your intention. So Michael actually asked for upper back a while back. So I'm going to find our bottom tips of the shoulder blades. You can see where I'm pointing. It's right around the middle of your back. If you happen to be a lady, it's about where your bra strap goes across. And if you happen to be a gentleman, it's where a lady's bra strap goes across. So first one we'll do is with 2 blocks. So if you have 2 blocks, this is a nice one. One block will go right at the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. The other will go under the head. For as far as your legs go, if you want to stretch your outer hips, inner thighs, take the soles of the feet together, knees apart as well. Or bend the knees, feet on the floor if you have any discomfort in your lower back. If you want a deeper stretch, take the block that's underneath your head down lower. That'll intensify the stretch in the upper back. And again, soles of feet together, knees apart if you'd also like to work on hip flexibility. If you want to add a little more shoulder, reach the arms up and over. Palms facing each other, you can hold your opposite elbows or wrists or just allow the arms to extend. It can be pretty intense, so be sure to check in with yourself to make sure that you aren't going too deep into the stretch. So if you can, work on this one 5 to 10 minutes a day. You'll really notice a big difference in your flexibility. So if you're going to hold the opposite wrists or elbows, make sure that you switch them. Okay, so that's the first one. If you don't have any blocks, you can also use a blanket or a towel. So just take your blanket or your towel. And I like to, if you've got a blanket, I like to roll from the fringe side, so that makes it neat. And then take it in the same place. So it's right again in the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, right in that middle back spot. And then lean back onto the blanket and allow your head to just rest on the floor. And again, you can extend the legs forward if that bothers your lower back. Bend the knees, feet on the floor, or soles of feet together, knees apart. And if you're following along, you can stay with the blocks that you had, or you can switch it to the blanket. Arms by your sides, you can make goalpost arms with your elbows bent, or again, if you want it to be deeper and get more into your shoulders, bring your arms up and overhead with the palms facing each other like we did on the blocks. Now, if this feels a little too intense, I'm going to roll off and show you, you can just unroll it a little bit. So take the roll a little bit less and then put it the same place. And then it doesn't have to be as intense. You don't want to be in this position, whatever you choose to open your upper back. You don't want to be in there feeling like you want to cry. You want to get a nice stretch, but don't make it agonizing. It doesn't mean that your back will open any sooner, and it could cause it to overstretch, and that wouldn't be good. All right, so now the next little tool is a basketball, and this basketball is a little bit soft, so some of the air is taken out of it. It's going to go again in the same place. And this one, it's kind of fun because you can roll a little bit back and forth. Now, I have a ponytail. So if I were to over roll in my ponytail, I would pull my hair and it would not feel so good. So just a warning. And sometimes you might pull your hair and then panic a little bit and it doesn't feel good. So careful of the hair. My arms are overhead again because that's going to intensify. You don't have to do that. So you can also just stay static. Soles of feet together, knees apart or knees bent. You can straighten out the legs, but for me, that's a little too intense in my lower back. I would rather have my knees bent, either soles of feet together or feet on the floor. And again, you can play around with the arms overhead for more shoulder stretch. So that way, if you've got the soles of feet together and the arms overhead, you're stretching upper back, shoulders, inner thighs, outer hips. All right, so we'll move the basketball out to the side. So why would we do this? Okay, so I'm rounding my back. I'm showing you how we type, how we drive, our upper back rounds. But really, we don't want it to round. There is a little bit of rounding in the upper back naturally, but we want to make sure that it doesn't get to be too much. Okay, so now I'll show a roller. And again, with a roller, you'll put it in the same place in the upper back and feet flat on the floor. You can roll gently back and forth, but again, be careful of the ponytail. So just rolling gently, take the arms overhead if you wish, or again, you can just stay static in one spot. So if I put my hips down, it's kind of a lot on my low back again. So make sure if that's the case for you that you move that roller toward your upper back a little bit more. And maybe you don't take your buns down. Maybe keep them off the floor. So if we don't work on this opening in the upper back and we type a lot and sit a lot and slouch forward a lot, eventually we won't be able to sit up tall. So that's why this is such a great thing to work on. And then finally, I have one more little ball, and this is like a little knobby ball, and then I'm going to put it again right in the middle of my back. Move my ponytail out of the way. And this one again, I can move around, kind of even back and forth and up and down to get in there. And then if I find a little spot that might feel tight there, I can just hold the ball right there. And they have smaller balls too. This one's a little bit bigger, but you can use the smaller ones. Or a tennis ball works really well. And then I have the option again to take my arms overhead and stretch my shoulders. I could also take the soles of my feet together, knees apart here as well, stretching inner thighs and outer hips. So if you have some sort of a job where you sit a lot, or you just find yourself sitting a lot or rounding your upper back, try and do this every day, maybe 10 minutes a day or so. So release that, hug your knees into your chest if you've been following along. That was about 10 minutes, I think. And then we'll roll back and forth, up and down the spine, and we'll close our little short practice. Hands to heart center, sit up tall, lots of space. Hands to the forehead to remind us to have clear and loving thoughts, and hands to the heart reminding us to have clear and loving intentions, and hands to the mouth reminding us to have clear and loving communications. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked our class, please push the like button. If you'd like to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments, and please share these with your friends. And if you can afford to support Fightmaster Yoga, there is a link below to send a donation through PayPal, and all donations are really, really helpful for us to try and bring yoga to as many people as possible. Bye!